This video is going to be about the combined gas law and how you can memorize one equation and find 4 different equations from it. If you recall, combined gas law is P1 V1 over T1 equals P2 V2 over T2. Keep in mind that the temperatures have to all be in Kelvin. If you don't do that, you will not have correct answers for your problems. So if we're looking for Boyle's law being the equation where you are looking at pressure and volume as variables, and this one is indirect, meaning if one variable goes up, the other goes down. If you are looking at pressure and volume, the only variable that you don't see here is temperature, so that one would be held constant. And so your equation for Boyle's law is here in the red. P1 times V1 equals P2 times V2. If you were looking at Charles' law, that one has volume and temperature as your variables, and that one is direct, meaning that as one variable goes up, the other goes up, or vice versa. They could both be going down. And in this case, we have volume and temperature changing, but the pressure doesn't change. So you pretty much just ignore these pressures, and you're left with this equation. Okay. If you are looking at not Charles' law, you have Gay-Lussac's. This one has pressure and temperature is also direct. So again, they would both be increasing or they would both be decreasing. And in this case, you have your volume being held constant. So you could take P1 over T1 equals P2 over T2. And I don't know if you can see that. I think you should be able to. The green equation here, you have a blue equation there, and then you have the red, which is the one on the top. So from one equation, the P1, that pen isn't writing, so we'll try it in a different color. The P1 V1 over T1 equals P2 V2 over T2 can get you all 4 equations. Keep in mind, you're cross multiplying and dividing by the variable that you don't know if you're doing any of these equations. Make sure your units agree, and make sure you're using Kelvin. Save yourself a whole bunch of headaches.